Hey you guys, this is Rafael from Relics. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're being kind to others. And I hope you see that things are getting a little bit better. I hope you see that people are starting to work together and that hopefully we are in a positive direction. And I want to be that positive influence when I get a chance to share things with you guys, because I appreciate you. And I think everybody is worth a little encouragement. Today we're going to talk about a neat cannon shell, and it's one that was used a lot, especially in the early days of the Civil War. And to understand this, we need to go back to the 1850s. In the 1850s, there were two cats that decide they're going to go to England and study some of the British artillery. Those two cats were James Burton and Alexander Dyer, D-Y-E-R. And they go over there and they get to looking at this stuff. And one of the shells that must have intrigued them was the Britain shell, B-R-I-T-T-E-N. And it's a shell with the projectile on top and the sabot, which is the part like this that takes the rifling of the cannon on the bottom, and it's a huge piece of lead. That must have struck a chord with both men, because when they get back, they start adding their own little designs to it. Dyer decides that he's going to put the body of the shell, and on the bottom of it, he's going to put a tinned iron piece over the rounded end. And luckily, I found one the other day that has a little bit of the tin still remaining on it, as well as some of the original lead. It's odd to find that, because most of the time when these fired, that huge hunk of lead on the bottom of it flew off. And the tin's gone, and you can see they did a little bit of a crosshatch on the bottom like this to try to keep that lead piece on, because if that flew off, it wouldn't be as accurate. And it was very important that, especially with these rifled shells, that they could shoot it accurately. But that's where the Dyer goes awry, because there's so much lead on the bottom of that, and you can see this one still has it all, that it just didn't work as well. And so I've read a couple of things over the years where they did not prefer this shell compared to a lot of them, because you had other shells like the Hotchkiss and the Parrot where they were better about staying in place. If you notice, one neat thing while we've got this one held up, there are small grooves, 3 small grooves cut into that lead, because when they were testing these, they found out the problem was they weren't exploding. Why weren't they exploding? Because these used a zinc fuse with a paper time fuse that burned like a wick. You had to get that wick lit before it got away from the combustion of the cannon fire. So in order to do that, the lead prevented that flame from getting from the powder charge of the cannon blast up to the nose of the shell. So they did a smart thing. They cut the little grooves in the lead to allow that flame to get up to the top. Worked a little bit better. Little better's none. Evidently, I cannot speak this morning, but I am trying, so bear with me and we'll get there. So evidently, they made a little bit of progress on the later ones. If you notice, this one is a lot bigger than the other ones. They made them for different size cannon shells. These are the standard 3-inch, which would have fired in a 3-inch ordnance rifle or a 3-inch Parrot rifle. This is the style that you usually see. They made these on up to a 7-inch. And the 7-inch shell, 7 inches diameter across, weighs 83 pounds. And you see these fired by naval ships. You see most of the ones you encounter actually come off of Island number 10, which is in the Mississippi River. That's where the majority of them have been found. They're cool. If you get a chance to get one, a lot of times you can pick them up well under $1,000. Buy one of those, because it's so neat, and they're not going to be able to dig many more of them. So that's my recommendation for the day, and I don't make many recommendations. I like those shells, and you ought to buy one. This one is neat just because if you pick it up, you know you are lifting a big cannon shell. It's a 4.5 inch Dyer projectile, and it has a massive amount of lead on the bottom of it. They rose the lead up a little bit more to try to get it to stay on. Most of the time it didn't. It's ripped off. This one has the original zinc fuse in the top of it. They're just a neat thing, and that's one thing about artillery shells. If you like one style, usually you have the option of getting it in multiple sizes and multiple styles. If you notice, this is the rounded nose on this one, and they make a pointed nose, which is a little bit tougher to find. And if you also notice, variation, especially with artillery, there's a lot of them. This one used the zinc fuse. This one actually uses a percussion fuse, which means that it explodes in theory when it strikes something. But this one didn't. There's a lot of factors that go into artillery, which is why it's an art of artillery, not a guarantee of artillery use. The pointed nose is a good bit tougher to find, and it's kind of neat because it's a Dyer shell, but it's a Schinkel patent fuse. Schinkel was a cat from Boston that had his own shell. We'll talk about that some other day when I get a nice one. These are cool pieces. You can see them on ShilohRelics.com. You can own them. You can get them, put them in your office, put them in your relic room, put them on your wife's kitchen table because she won't mind. She'll love them. She loves this stuff. I guarantee you. I hope that you guys are doing well. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you can laugh, because if you can't laugh at yourself, you ought not to laugh at anybody else. I hope y'all have a great day. Remember that I love you. Be kind when you can. And if you can't, try a little bit harder. I love you, and I'll catch you next time.